Thank you all for attending this talk. I know I have to compete against cookies, pastries, and coffee, so appreciate it that you're here. We had a series of talk about documentation at SUSE today. This is actually the last talk about documentation. I wanted to wrap it up with showing you a sneak peek into the new documentation portal that we are planning to launch in September. And first of all, something about me. So my name is Frank Sundermeier. I'm Director Product and Solution Documentation at SUSE. Actually been here for quite a long time, started at SUSE in the mid-90s. And this project is especially dear to me because when I started the first 8 years, I was SUSE's webmaster. Then I switched to the documentation team, became a technical writer there. And now I can combine with this project my past and present at SUSE. So this is why this is really my pet project. I actively participated in that, and that's really very dear to me. So what we'll be talking about today is I will give you a bit of an explanation of what we are planning to do for SLE 16 or the next SLE generation, because we want to redefine documentation, do a different approach. And one of the things that were the outcome of that is that we need a new documentation portal with enhanced features compared to what we have now. Then I will give you a brief introduction what to expect in the next month, what is there to come. Then I will ask you to provide some feedback, because we launched the documentation portal proof of concept for SUSECon, actually last Friday. Everything went online, so if you would take a look at it and give us feedback, much appreciated, and then we can have a bit of a Q&A. If you've got questions in between, please feel free to ask. The only thing I would like to ask you, if you do, is to take the microphone, because we record everything, and only what gets spoken into the microphone will appear in the recording. Okay, rethinking docs. So, couple of months, or basically 2 years ago, we started doing analytics. We had a closer look at the documentation survey that we run every year, and what we could see from there is that the way we are presenting our documentation, large manuals, the SLES admin guide has got, 900 pages. This is a really big thing. This is no longer how people consume documentation. I mean, let's be honest. What do you do when you have got a problem? You fire up Google, enter a question, and then you expect to find an answer. Unfortunately, that doesn't work pretty well with the manuals. When some content is hidden on page 800, Google has a hard time finding that. So what we did is we did a small proof of concept in just taking pieces out of our existing documentation, give that a meaningful title, put it on our webpage called Smart Docs. But the content actually was the same as in the admin guide. And then we waited for 3 months, looked at the Google results, and this article appeared on page 1 in the Google results, whereas the same content hidden in the manual appeared on page 8 or 10 in the Google results. So to us, it was crystal clear, we need to split up our manuals into smaller chunks of documentation. And with that, we started thinking about how to do that. And we came up with a solution that evolved over the past 2 years that we call Smart Docs. And the goal with those Smart Docs is actually to cover a topic from A to Z in a single article, starting with general things like what is this about, then how to set it up, how to achieve certain tasks, and as you further advance into the article, become more specific. So the first article, and I can show you afterwards, if we still get time, a glimpse into one of those articles. So if you attended Tanya's talk earlier, the talk about how to write documentation that actually works, one of the key sentences here is, don't tell me how it works, tell me how to use it. Tanya used the example of a motor. If you buy a car, it may be nice to know how a motor works, but this doesn't enable you to drive a car. You need to know how to start the engine, how to maintain the car and stuff like that. That is actually, at least I think so, what you also would expect from our documentation. Knowing how it works would be an added benefit maybe, but actually you're probably more interested in documentation that tells you how to use our software, because that is what you do every day. So if you think about the new concept of our smart docs as something being similar to containers, because that's what containers do. They ship the software in a way that you don't need to take care about dependencies. It's all in one container. And the smart docs approach is similar to containers. So each of those smart docs articles serves one distinct purpose. It's self-contained, as I said before, covers a topic from A to Z, focuses on actually achieving something, doing tasks and solving problems. It also contains a troubleshooting section, so if something doesn't go the way you want it to, you at least get an idea of why that may be. And that is more an internal thing. With the smart docs, we switch to small units of which these articles are made. So if a content appears in several articles, the example that we use for that is just for example, deploying SSL certificates. You need it for various things. For almost all our products, you need to do that. Currently, we have like 10, 15 versions of how to do that. We want to have just one that can be maintained in a single place. So this is one of those small units that we can then reuse in different contexts. So if we would do that, we currently have for SLES 15 like 5,000 pages of documentation. We will end up with a huge list of articles. So the problem will be where to find the container, the documentation container, the smart docs. And this is why we thought about a new approach in presenting the documentation, which actually results in the new documentation portal, which I'm going to show you now. Small disclaimer, this is not a live demo. But actually, I took all those screenshots on Friday. You should be able to really see, and we haven't changed the version since then. So you should be able to see everything you see in those slides live on the portal. So this is the starting page. We still use that may look familiar. We still use those three categories with product solutions, best practices, and technical references. But the presentation is different. It's a lot more performant. So the old page was really slow. This is really fast. You can quickly select the versions without having to jump to another page. And you have a central search here. All that you can see, all the information you can see here is coming out of the documents. So this information is really maintained as metadata in the documentation. And that is because, as Nuno in his talk before told us, we're using an automated approach to publish the documentation. So we use approach docs as code, so no Office packages or something like that to write the documentation. We are using ASCII-Doc or DocBook to write the documentation. And our toolchain automatically checks it out from GitHub, builds the sources, automatically builds what you can see here, and then it's published on documentationsuse.com. So for us, the Ranger people, as Nuno told us, they press a button. For us, it's calling a script and then an rsync command that syncs everything onto the server. If you're interested in the whole toolchain is open source, published on GitHub, so you can actually see what we're doing. Same, of course, is true for all the documentation you can see here. Everything is published on GitHub as well. So really everything we use is open source. So let's have a look into the products and solution documentation. This is SUSE Linux Enterprise 16. It's I have to disappoint you if you expect to find new functionality, new features here. That's not yet the case. What you can find here is technology that will stay, that is proven, like systemd, like sudo, stuff like that. But all you can see here is already the new documentation format, the smart docs, and the list is what we have right now is like 40 or 50 articles. So it's already hard to find it. And so what we introduced here is this little input field. It's not actually a search field. It's a type as you go filter. So if you enter something here, with every letter you enter, the list of articles will become shorter because it searches for what you type here in the article title and in the article description. And this is pretty fast. So if you want to know something about sudo, SUD, and you're there. It's really pretty fast, and it's something I'm really proud of because I don't know, I haven't seen this implemented in many web pages, but I think it really works well. What we also decided to do is, because this list of articles is pretty long, is to present different views into the amount of articles. So we not only have them listed by all articles, we also have everything you can see listed by the last change date. So what was last changed will be currently listed at the top of this list. So you will easily be able to find the latest updated version or the newest article on top here. And we've also given some kind of keywords to each article. And you can find articles sorted by those keywords in the filter by task list. And again, this has this filter by title feature. So what you can see here is the list of articles that have the administration tag. And again, if you enter something here, the list will shorten to the point where you can easily find the article that you are searching for. That was the product and solution documentation. Basically, everything you can buy from SUSE is available under the product and solution tag. We also have additional documentation that we call best practices. This is documentation that has been developed in conjunction with our partners or with our consultants. It covers actually on-premises work that has been done and is pretty much version specific because it documents a certain implementation that was really done on premises. So it's version specific. Therefore, we have this separate section on those best practices. Those articles are sorted by categories right on the front, so you can easily find what you're searching for with your first selection. And it also features the same functionality that we had before with those filters. As you can see, pretty easy to get where you want to. What we are planning to implement is a fourth tab here that also supports articles by popularity. So this is not yet done, something we want to achieve to implement within the next few weeks. So expect that to see that soon on the POC. Once we have implemented it, we will make it available live. So third pillar, third type of documentation that we have is technical references. That is basically documentation that tells you how to install solutions on certain hardware or how to install third-party solutions together with SUSE stuff. And therefore, we ordered this by partners or hardware vendors. So if you want to do how to install something on your HPE hardware, go to the HPE tab. And again, you have that filter. I don't want to show it once again because I think you've learned it by now. But the other thing I want to show you is, and that is a common feature to all of our documentation, we provide the docs in different formats. HTML is the default, but you can also have it as PDF, or if you want to use your browser search function, Control F, to quickly search in a document, then use single HTML. That will allow you to quickly browse through the whole document. Then we have search. That is actually something we developed a year ago. That is already live on the current portal. You can actually filter your search by, once you enter a search term, either on the starting page, or let me show you that here. It's here, or the filter button on the starting page. You will get this filtering option, which really allows you to filter by version, by product, and even if you go to the best practices or technical references, by hardware vendor or by category. And just in case you get lost, we implemented a help function, or as a first walkthrough. Actually, when you first run the SUSE portal, you will get this nice walkthrough, which will walk you through all the new features of the portal. Okay. Quick view into the timeline. June 24. This is where we are now. So 6 weeks ago, we launched an internal proof of concept of the portal. Now, since Friday, the external one is online. We already gathered feedback from internal, which also already went into the POC that is live now. We hope to get feedback from you. If in case you're missing something, find bugs, have suggestions for us, don't hesitate to tell us. We really depend on the feedback that we get from outside. After all, it's you that have to work with the documentation. So yeah, any feedback you can give us is really appreciated. In September 24, we are planning to switch to the new portal. It will probably be the end of September. Together with that switch, the Rancher docs, which currently reside on rancher.com/docs, will also move, at least the product docs, as Nuno told us in the previous talk, will move under documentation.suse.com. The new SUSE Edge product already has their documentation released under documentation.suse.com. So in September, you will find everything docs related under the new umbrella. And from there on, we plan to implement personalization things. So what we are planning is to give you a possibility to log in and bookmark your most needed documentation. And then we will be able to inform you, if you want to, about any changes that happen in the documentation. So you can always stay on top of the documentation development. What we are also planning, we are currently in a POC phase with that as well, is what I call AI-assisted search. So what we did, we trained chatbot with our existing documentation, and so far the results look really promising, because that is one thing. Even if we have those big manuals, the chatbot can bring stuff from different sources together and present it in one document. That currently works fine. I hope that we will be able to have AI-assisted search available before the end of 25. And then something that we've been asked for a couple of times, but this is something that will probably be available sometime in the future, is video content. At least starting with that, enhancing those Smart Docs articles with short videos that show you how to achieve something. Probably screencasts is the first thing we will start with. But yeah, visualizing something often helps to understand things, and this is something that is definitely planned for the portal as well. Yeah, and that already brings me to the end of my talk. What we would like to see, as I said before, is feedback from you. So if you go to documentationsuse.com or docs.suse.com, which is a shortcut for documentationsuse.com/POC, you will actually be able to find what you have seen right there. And on the top right of every of those index pages, you see a feedback button. Would really be much appreciated if you click that. You can leave a rating and then a comment here. As I said before, your feedback is really appreciated and will hopefully help to create the documentation experience that you are looking for, have been looking for, or want to have in the future. Also, we have a documentation booth here. You can meet us there. In the tech showcase, it's in the last row if you enter in the middle, so you can't miss us. And yeah, that's it from my side. Any questions? Okay, then I could show you a quick peek into one of those Smart Doc articles if you haven't seen them yet. This was our first article that we published. It's a nice short topic working with systemd timers. In case you don't know, this is something that is probably going to replace cron. You can schedule jobs with that, basically. You can say, like, every Sunday evening at 10 o'clock, create a backup, or we have those Thursday updates from the web server where we trigger the script and the rsync. That is something you can schedule as well, and you can easily do that with systemd timers. And what you can see here is, what we are starting with is setting expectations. This is something that Tanya and Daria told us before. Technical documentation should start with setting expectations. So at a first glance, and hopefully in the Google results, you will actually see what you can achieve by reading this article. Then we have some requirements here, which basically tell the reader which skills or which software setup you would need in order to understand that article or to work with that article. And there's an effort estimation how long it will take you to read that article. And then I would like to ask you to focus on the table of contents. This is actually what I've talked about before and what Tanya and Daria have talked about, this information pyramid, starting with general topics at the beginning, because if you look at the analysis data, so if we look at the analysis for this article, for example, we can see that like 90% of the customers read this page. And the further you scroll down, the less people read through the whole article. In this case, at the end, it's only 30%. So either this article is very boring and nobody reads, but I prefer to think that most people find what they need in the first half of the article, and then that's actually our intention. So covering the broader topics like how to create a timer, how to manage a timer, and then become more specific. There's a couple of timer types that you can set. And then how do I make sure my entries are valid? So how can I test my timer? Then something that Cron offers out of the box, I would like to be informed about the result. Has my timer been successfully started or not? And then it goes to down to migrating from Cron, the old scheduling software that is still available, to systemd, and then troubleshooting, FAQs, and for more information. So this is basically what we are planning with all those SmartDocs articles for which we invented the portal. Yeah, that is what I wanted to show you today. Any more remarks, questions? Then thanks a lot for attending. And yeah, have a nice rest of SUSECon.